I only made it 11 minutes into the Wheel of Time before abandoning it to the beggar's row that is my largely ignored continue watching tab. And it wasn't because it had already been cancelled when I started it, or because it wasn't a word for word retelling from books that I haven't even read. The show failed with a fundamental part of storytelling, the hook. To get me to invest my time into their planned multi-season saga, they jumped straight into a minute-long introductory narration. Always a solid way to start a fantasy story, so no issues with the premise. But right away I'm put off by some of the wording. Whether it's how it's delivered or just the wording itself.
We don't know where or to whom, if he was reborn as a girl or a boy.
This sounds to me like it's aimed at a younger audience. And while the narration itself keeps vague enough to ask questions, the accompanying visuals don't really gel with the opening section of the narration. It's a very busy scene as the backdrop to an important piece of world building that is distracting more than complementing. The one moment that really landed for me was the emphasis on the group of women who took over after the world was broken as she puts on an elaborate ring. But the narration itself is vague enough for us to make inferences that the show can freely toy with and subvert, so it hasn't lost me yet. We now go over to a chase sequence. Two men are fleeing from a gaggle of women on horseback up a winding mountain path. We see how some of this world's magic works and establish a power dynamic between the genders as our opening narrator character looks on. Right away I'm thoroughly unimpressed by the editing's failure to hide that the horses are right behind them and how they should be catching up to them. And... what was that? There was nothing falling anywhere near you. You're running for your life. Why are you lying down? The show also does something very cliche with its colours. The bad guys are all in red and our good guy is in blue. Not inherently a bad thing of course. But after the childish impression the opening narration left on me, this on-the-nose piece of visual storytelling reinforces that notion that this show isn't aiming for an older audience. Same can be said of how cartoonishly evil this obvious antagonist is. This tiny woman with a face so large it looks to be trying to escape and start an acting career of its own exposits as if she's performing in a Christmas pantomime as some evil queen. We then actually get a shot of what I assume the opening narration's definition of a broken world is, and we get the title card and our stakes are set. The woman in blue wants to save you, women in red want to murder you if you're a man. So with our prologue out of the way, we now go straight over to introduce a male character who'll be at risk of suffering the same fate as... nope, female coming of age ritual. Ball dropped. After an opening narrative about how dangerous a man with magic was, and a follow-up scene of the fate of a man with magic faces, jumping straight into a scene with a female character has broken the chain. I have no reason, with how the story's been presented so far, to believe there's any narrative weight behind this prophesised dragon reborn being a woman. There isn't anything inherently magical about this whole sequence either. It's very much a trust in nature, go with the flow ritual that's probably killed a fair few people over the years. And then we go over to a male character. If this turns out to be our chosen one archetype, this scene should have come first, followed by the water-based struggle session to move us cleanly into the village sequence. If this isn't our chosen one, then it's still wasting our time. We can brush past some world building and shallow character building to bring us to a brain-breaking piece of dialogue.
How did the ceremony go today?
Don't know, actually.
What do you mean you don't know? The only way to pass this test is to not die in the river. Do the men not know what they get up to out there? If not, then surely this gives it away. Yeah, went terribly. Clearly coping and seething at her failure to become a woman. Isn't everyone here just a massive arsehole rubbing it in her face like that? This could have been a great chance to show off a bit of character. Why didn't the barely animated talking plank of wood here ask someone like, did she tell you what they do yet? A bit of a playful poke for some gossip while highlighting another gender separation in this world. Then everything simultaneously stops as somebody walks into this publicly accessible establishment, and I hit pause, back and look for something else to watch. Whether it was the opening monologue's tonal issues,
If he was reborn as a girl or a boy.
the lackluster quality of its first action sequence, the terrible line delivery of its supporting cast,
My girl, you're back.
or the stupidity of some of the dialogue in general, the show failed to grab me. Within the first 4 minutes the show set up a story the following 7 minutes failed to even bother with. If it cut out the giant-faced tiny woman sequence, and went from the monologue's promise to find the chosen one to introducing the teenagers of this village, then the intrigue is still there. If the opening monologue accompanied a more visual representation of the stakes if the chosen one fell to the dark, then my patience would probably hold longer. A hook needs to grab your attention and hold it long enough for the story to really get rolling. From the very beginning, this show needed to establish a reason to care and people to care about. None of this was any of that for me. Is this a show for the existing fans, who know who, what and where already? Did I give up just as it was actually getting good? Is it worth me trying again? Comment below. If you don't think this video was a waste of time, hit the like button and subscribe for more.
And we must find them. before the dark does.